get off now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, there we go. You guys are recording. Have fun.
All right. Yeah, I was trying to have a visual aid where I could show the comic book as we were going, but I don't think I can make that work currently.
Nope.
But that's okay. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. This is Matt and Brian. I'm Matt.
And I'm Brian.
We are from Star Wars Comics Daily, which is a podcast in which every day, we say every day, but it's about 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, we try to read every Star Wars comic.
Yep.
And
never end.
No. The good news is, Star Wars comics are going to happen forever. The bad news is I don't think we'll ever get caught up, but I don't know. How many episodes do you think we're in right now?
How many episodes have we done?
Yeah, about 160 or so? 170 or so, right? A lot.
No, 100 and... Well, no, you're right. 175 is the last issue we recorded. That's not the last one that's come out, but that's the last one we recorded.
Meaning that we haven't even made a dent in how many Star Wars comics that are actually out there.
No.
Yeah, but hey, it's fun. But the reason why this show is so much fun, and the reason why we really wanted to do it, we had a podcast previous to this where we did every issue of Brian Michael Bendis's Avengers comic. And that took us about 2 years. And we wanted to do something after that. Thought it would be fun to try to attack all the Star Wars comics. And a lot of these older comics, especially around like the Dark Horse era, we haven't read.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah. And it made it really interesting because some of these comics can get very, very, very strange.
That's true.
Which brings us to the comic that we are covering today, Boba Fett and the bounty on Bar-Kooda, which I don't know, Brian. I think we should get into a little bit. Why don't we just begin in our typical?
I was going to say, are we not going to do the normal intros and stuff?
Yeah. So from Star Wars Comics Daily, is that how this is now I have the pressure. Yeah. I'm Matt Wood.
And I'm Brian Keohan.
Welcome to special episode of Star Wars Comics Daily, where we are a part of the ForceFest a convention, a virtual convention.
Yeah.
Today we're covering, Star Wars, Boba Fett, and the bounty on Bar-Kooda. This was released, I want to say, here it is. This was released December 5th, 1995.
The story is by John Wagner. The artist is Cam Kennedy. Letterer is Bob Panaha, I guess. And the cover's by Cam Kennedy. Hello? Did we lose Matt? Well, I'll keep going, I guess. I'm reading it in a trade paperback. This is the Boba Fett trade paperback, Death, Lies, and Treachery. It's got this comic book and a couple other Boba Fett comic books. Usually, we'd start a synopsis at this point, but I'm not sure what happened to Matt. He did the synopsis, so let's see. Okay.
Okay. Am I here?
There we go.
Okay. I have no idea what happened. There we go. All right.
Cool.
Sorry, I was able to see you. Oh, you have the comic? That's amazing. Yes. Grab the spot. You're our best friend. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mike. Okay, awesome. Yes. I think we're all looking at the same volume too.
Yeah.
of the Death, Lies, and Treachery, which has the Boba Fett trilogy. I guess that's what we can refer to it as. It begins with the bounty on Bar-Kooda. It's written by, as you said, Brian, because I could see you. I just was gone for a while.
Yeah.
You introduced it, John Wagner.
Yeah.
Before we get into this, Brian, did you look up anything on John Wagner?
Yeah, totally I did. I'm not doing it right now because I totally forgot. I think I'm almost surely he's a 2000 AD guy, as tons of these guys are. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I think he's a big. What's his name?
Dredd.
Yeah, Judge Dredd guy. Yeah, he is the co-creator of Judge Dredd with Carlos Ezquerra.
So this is definitely a dream team because Cam Kennedy at this point has just come off of the entire Dark Empire trilogy.
Yes.
With Tom Veach. And so Cam Kennedy is a rock star artist from 2000 AD, also working on Judge Dredd. And this exists in this weird era of Star Wars comics where they're either super serious or they're complete comedy of errors.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
think it definitely falls into the to the other category. Before I get into this summary, though, I want to talk a little bit about Boba Fett because this is 1995. I don't necessarily Boba Fett like craziness has always existed. I mean, ever since the Kenner action figure and the holiday special, people were into Boba Fett, but I don't think Boba Fett was like as everything is Boba Fett now. I mean, he's one of the more lucrative characters that Lucasfilm has merchandised off of. At 1985, I don't necessarily know if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's always been super popular, though. So
sure,
I don't know.
But at least he hadn't been explored to the point where he would be, a decade later.
Well, yeah, there was no expanded universe at this point. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think makes this really interesting because I think there is the debate whether or not Boba Fett is kind of a buffoon or a total badass type character.
I mean, we've talked about it in other episodes.
Right.
At least I am totally down with he looks amazing, and I think that's why his reputation is he's great, but I don't think he's all that great a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp of Boba Fett is the best at failing upwards.
Sure.
Where like he lucks into everything and his look carries him a long way. Yeah. And I think that this comic kind of demonstrates that because he screws up quite a bit. And also in Dark Empire, he's constantly like crashing his ship and making huge mistakes. And whenever he shows up, so I'm thinking that the mandate, if you really get into Boba Fett, the mandate seems to be around this time, especially. He looks cool, but don't make him do things that necessarily look cool.
Yeah.
And I definitely think this comic falls into that camp. Okay, now the part where you're already the summary, the very long summary of Boba Fett and Bounty on Bar-Kooda. Mike, can you do us a favor? This is going to probably take a lot of right brain, left brain, but as I go, yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a Hutt that was in love. His name was Gorga, and the Hutt of his eye was Anacharo. Only problem was that her father didn't approve of Gorga. In an attempt to make her father approve, Gorga wanted to extend an olive branch in the shape of a pirate that had been giving Anacharo's father some trouble, named Bar-Kooda. To get Bar-Kooda, though, Gorga would have to hire the now notorious bounty hunter, Boba Fett. Boba Fett, however, is on a different mission. He is chasing down some degenerates on swoop bikes. During his pursuit, he follows them into the stereotypical Star Wars-ish bar. He approaches the barkeep and explains that he is hunting info on a magician named Magwit. He tells the patrons of the bar to give whatever info they have. We cut to Magwit's location. He and his family are part of a traveling magic show touring small frontier locations. He's dazzling a small crowd with his tricks. One involves birds flying out of his mouth. The other involves his family members walking through a hoop and not appearing on the other side. His show is interrupted by a messenger saying that Boba Fett is in town and hunting down the magician. This causes Magwit to choke on his own birds and collapse in front of the audience dead. Later at Magwit's funeral, Boba Fett interrupts the burial to see if the magician is actually dead. He inspects the body, much to the family's disapproval, then leaves when he is satisfied that he is properly dead. Later, after everyone has left, Fett digs up the body and injects it with a needle. Magwit seemingly comes back to life, but in actuality, he is being relieved of toxins he has taken to make him appear to be dead. Boba takes him aboard the ship. Aboard the Slave One, Fett talks with Gorga and accepts the job of capturing Bar-Kooda. He goes down to his brig and brings forward Magwit. Fett tells him that he is wanted for being an associate of pirates. Magwit explains that he never wanted to be in the company of pirates. He was part of a group of entertainers that Bar-Kooda and his men have captured. Bar-Kooda took a liking to the magician, but became angry when Magwit refused to divulge the secret of his hoop trick. Instead of killing the magician, however, Bar-Kooda kept Magwit aboard. Sad and miserable until a time where he could escape. Boba tells the magician that the Imperial bounty on him is hardly worth his time. He offers Magwit a way to regain his freedom, but it involves returning to Bar-Kooda. Magwit's not interested, but Fett assures him that the alternative is death. We cut to Bar-Kooda's ship, the Blood Star, where the pirate leader is informed that Magwit, the magician, has returned. Kooda is so angry with him that he sentences the magician to death, but insists that he put on one last performance before he is cooked and eaten. And insists even further that this time he will show him how the hoop trick is done. Magwit is setting up for his show with the assistance of Bar-Kooda's men. One of the things set up is a large casket that we see is occupied by Boba. This is stored in a room next to where Magwit will perform. During the last performance, Boba exits the casket and kills 2 pirates occupying the room. A portal opens up in the room. Magwit does card tricks, pulls a rabbit out of his ear. All great stuff. Bar-Kooda, however, insists that he keeps the hoop trick. That he sees the hoop trick. Mm-hmm. Magwit obliges and asks if Bar-Kooda will volunteer, saying that by walking through it, the secret will be revealed. The pirate lord hops through and meets Boba on the other side. Bar-Kooda is injured during their brawl. Boba takes the pirate and leaves a bomb. Meanwhile, Magwit is being pressured by other pirates to return their boss. He hops through the portal with pirates in pursuit. He sees the bomb and runs after Boba and Bar-Kooda. The bomb blows up and takes out a few pirates. Magwit and Boba hop aboard the ship they arrived in, but the hatch of the Blood Star is shut. Boba uses his guns on the cargo ship to blow through the hatch, allowing them to escape and the pursuing pirates to be sucked into the vacuum of space. We see an epilogue where Gorga is having dinner with the father of his beloved Anacharo. He expresses his feelings, but the father is still reluctant. Gorga insists that he stay for the main course, roasted Bar-Kooda.
Oh, are you done now? I fell asleep. That was so long.
I know. But Brian, I think the question that everybody wants to know is, with Boba Fett possibly returning for season 2 of The Mandalorian, are we going to finally have an adaptation of this comic book? Surely
Magwit at least is going to show up. I mean, come on.
I think so. I think Magwit is going to be. Who are some of the actors that we've seen cast next year? I don't know, but Magwit's going to definitely be there, right?
Sure, you would think so.
Exactly. I think we should start with the first character introduced, and that's Gorga the Hutt.
Yeah, sure.
Brian, how much do you know about Gorga the Hutt?
I know 0. I mean, other than she's beautiful. I got that.
Well, Gorga's a fellow.
And Gorga is in Charo. Yeah, sorry.
But
no, I don't know anything.
It's funny that you mentioned 0 because Gorga knows 0 the Hutt too.
Oh, okay. I know 0.
Yeah. Gorga the Hutt is canonized. We see Gorga the Hutt in Clone Wars. He is in that Council of Hutts that is in the Mom of the Hutt episode and the Papa the Hutt episode and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he wears a monocle. He's not one of the Hutts that's based off of like Marlon Brando or James Cagney, but he's still
Well, that's no fun.
yeah. But yes, we have seen Gorga the Hutt in Star Wars canon, so I was excited to see that. He is the first cousin of Rhoda, Stinky the Hutt from Clone Wars.
Oh, I gotcha. Sure.
Yeah, so very exciting. And he apparently makes numerous appearances in future Boba Fett comics. So Gorga is going to be a reoccurring character.
Well, that's good.
I'm not a fan of his Major Dormo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just not very exciting. But, what are you going to do? Let's move into the swoop bike pursuit.
Yeah.
Do you think we tried to look up where swoop bikes appeared in like a Han Solo novel? I think that's where they first appeared. But
Okay. Yeah, swoop bike is different than a speeder bike because a swoop bike can go up higher and
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a speeder bike is going to be mostly land based, like a land speeder like Luke has in New Hope.
Right. I kind of got the feeling when I was doing the summary for this episode that this swoop bike scene is maybe, I don't want to say filler because you don't want to call Cam Kennedy's artwork filler.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
It's just, I think, a good excuse to draw Boba Fett looking really cool and hunting down some guys.
Yeah, I think it's it's like the beginning of a James Bond movie or whatever. You're at the end of the last story, so Boba can look cool.
Exactly. No, that's excellent. That's an excellent point.
Yeah. Because that's all he does is look cool.
That's all he does. Yeah. I really wish that Marvel or Lucasfilm in general had a continuing relationship with Cam Kennedy. I love Cam Kennedy's designs of aliens.
Sure, yeah.
We said this with Dark Empire, where Dark Empire definitely has its like storytelling problems, the clone of Emperor Palpatine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cam Kennedy's artwork was never something that, worth complaining about. And here, I think he definitely, I think Bar-Kooda especially is one of the best designed Star Wars characters that we've seen in these comics so far.
Yeah, luckily Cam Kennedy did not bring Slave 2 back.
Yes. Okay. So for those of you that are familiar, in Dark Empire, which is it is the first Star Wars Dark Horse comic, in that miniseries, Boba Fett returns with no real explanation about how he's not dead in the Sarlacc pit.
No.
And he has a new ship, the Slave 2.
Ugh, that's awful.
It might be the worst designed Star Wars ship ever. It's Legends, canon, it doesn't matter. It's essentially a triangle.
Right, but when Cam Kennedy draws Slave 2, Slave 1 though, I mean, look how awesome that is.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Cool. And I think we looked at Cam Kennedy colors his own stuff, right?
Yeah, he definitely colors this because this has got the same kind of weird coloring that Dark Empire stuff does.
Yeah, I think it brings out the most in his artwork. I think it looks awesome. But yes, classic. This is probably our third Boba Fett in a bar scene that we've covered on the show so far. We barely ever cover Boba Fett, but it reminds me of the Watchmen scene. When Rorschach and Night Owl go into the bar and they start breaking like the pinky fingers and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where you go to get information. You go to the deadly bar.
Yeah.
Or cantina, whatever you want to call it, whatever universe you're in.
And this is where we're introduced to who Boba Fett is actually in pursuit of. Magwit the Magician.
Yeah.
So yeah. He's our co-star.
He's a little elf guy.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. Wikipedia, it's usually able to supply me with a fair amount of unnecessary information.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that it would show me exactly who Wim Magwit, like what species he is,
Mhm.
and hopefully give me more than just, what I got here. And
Yeah.
I'm sad to report that no.
Yeah.
However, I do know his wife's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Belina.
Does he show up in other stuff? Is he,
He
more than
shows
Boba
up in
Fett?
a lot of the encyclopedias that were posted or written around the time,
Okay.
but nothing like another comic or anything.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of the essential guides, the characters, and the official fact file.
Right.
Nothing from West End Games, surprisingly.
Oh,
I
alright.
thought that would be
That's usually our best source.
yeah. West End Games is the spark that, to paraphrase a Star Wars analogy, it is the spark that Wikipedia's flame was, that burnt down Wikipedia. But it's so weird because I feel like, whenever Star Wars is great when it's grounded in like real world, and especially like, the archetypes of classic storytelling, and like The Mandalorian's great because it's based off the spaghetti westerns and samurai films of Star Wars originally based off of. And so here we very much have like a Western story here, but I think it dips a little too much into yeah.
Were there a lot of circuses in Westerns? I don't remember that.
I mean, there was definitely like traveling circuses during that time period.
Yeah, sure.
You have like the old P.T. Barnum stuff, and
isn't that where Wild Bill Hickok ended up? He ended up on a
exactly. And like his car was that. This is what threw me off, and I hate when I get like snagged on like the silliest Star Wars technicalities. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. He has a car.
Magwit, yeah,
with
like
that
shirts and stuff with like it looks like a tank.
Tires. Yeah, that was enough to make me go, no.
Cars hover in Star Wars. They don't have tracks.
Exactly right. But yes, I guess we should talk about Magwit's performance.
By the way, Magwit, when I say he's an elf, he's like a Christmas elf.
Yeah.
He's not like a Lord of the Rings elf.
No. He is not. He's not a Legolas. Yeah. No, this Magwit is as unflattering as his name is.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I showed my girlfriend this as I was reading it, and she took the first page that she even looked at was the one where the birds were like coming out of his mouth. And she just was not. She was like, "I'm good. I don't need to know."
Yeah, his big two tricks seem to be producing birds from his mouth, which is weird, and then he's got this hoop trick, which is like a teleportation disc that they don't explain. I mean, they don't really explain either one. I guess it's just magic, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's strange because it goes into. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Magwit he's a fraud. I mean, obviously he's not a Jedi. He can't really do magic things.
Okay. We'll explain the birds coming out of his mouth then. I mean, I don't think that's the Force, but I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, okay, there's the joke when they're going into the hoop, and the kid is clearly not actually juggling these balls. He's And
like I said, it's definitely a teleportation because we see later. I mean, we see where they come out because Boba Fett's waiting for the bad guy or whatever. So it's just a teleportation disc, but I don't know how that works in his mouth. Does he have one of those in his mouth?
I think that's exactly what's happening.
Okay, all right.
I think that's exactly what's happening. But yeah, like for example, the balls are gimmicked and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I started to wonder, like, okay, when it comes to like these teleportation or like portals or whatever, is that something that's Star Wars-ish? And I don't think it is.
No, I don't.
But the existence of it now makes me wonder, well, why isn't it?
Because only Magwit has that magic, dude.
I mean, Magwit he's barking up the wrong tree here with how he makes a living. If he's got the technology in which to make teleportation, I mean, come on. The Empire at least would be incredibly interested in that.
Sure.
They'll kill you and steal your idea, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think it's just one of the cases of this early Star Wars stuff where it's like, oh, we're just making some stuff up. And it's like, that doesn't really, I mean, like you said, I can't think of any teleportation in Star Wars. The only thing I can think of is in Rebels, they have that thing that Ezra goes through and you can kind of step through, but that's super, super like Dark Jedi stuff.
Right. Yeah. Magwit's not privy to the world between worlds.
Yeah.
It took me a couple of times to figure out the Magwit death scene.
Right.
Because I was pretty sure he actually died. So the whole thing, it's a scam. It's a rouge. You know, I mean, he's a magician, right? So It's just a lot of tricks and whatnot. He pretends to be dead from choking on one of his own birds when it's mentioned that Boba Fett is coming for him. Apparently, though, Boba Fett was aware that he had poisoned himself.
Well, I think, theoretically he chokes on this bird, and then I think at some point in between when he's buried, he drugs himself so that he'll seem dead. But Boba Fett is just smart enough to know that that's, BS.
Yeah. And luckily enough to carry whatever antitoxin that will wake him right up.
That's true too.
The funeral scene, I love it because one, Cam Kennedy is putting way too much effort into the funeral of a ridiculous magician. Like these pages shouldn't look this awesome
right.
for the scene that it is, but I'm not complaining. But we are introduced to the fact that Boba Fett has an Igor.
Well, yeah, he's got this guy with him. I mean, I don't know that he's an Igor type guy, but yeah, he is helping him. He's got an assistant, at least in this one instance.
Is this someone that Boba Fett threatened, or does he just have a guy?
I don't know. I wouldn't. He's probably not above paying a dude to come help him dig up a body.
Yeah. Especially when it's just fresh in the ground.
Right, he's not in this anymore. Unless, wait a minute. Go a couple pages ahead where he's got Magwit in a cage. Is that the guy that was helping him in the cage?
Oh my gosh, it totally is. Nice. Okay, I think like everything I've ever said about Boba Fett, he's resourceful.
Oh sure, yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, you come help me dig up this grave. Oh, stand in this cage for a second. Clack. Oh, all right. Now I don't have to pay you. Haha.
Exactly. That's awesome. Oh, wait. So you're saying that Boba Fett just found the guy on the planet and decided... I thought Boba Fett already had him in the cage and was like,
I'll let you
hey,
out if you help me
man,
dig this guy
yeah,
up.
I won't shoot you in the head or whatever if you help me dig up a grave.
It seems Boba Fett-ish to do that kind of thing.
So we are operating under we are operating under the impression that Magwit just totally lied to his kids and wife about being dead.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't even remember. Does he? He lives, doesn't he? He doesn't die, does he?
No, Magwit doesn't die.
Yeah, so we can assume that he went back to his kids. But yeah, I would assume that his kids, his wife and kids, do not know that he's alive.
Wife's not going to be thrilled whenever. Yeah,
but he could be like, yeah, I faked my death, but I dodged
Boba Fett. Yeah.
He's the greatest bounty hunter in the world.
Right.
The galaxy, whatever.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Well, yeah. Okay, I think that's mostly because he looks cool, but whatever.
I'm also impressed that Magwit has a personalized, customized casket.
Well, sure. I mean, so does Gene Simmons.
Does he really?
Yeah, you can buy a Kiss coffin.
Oh, cool. That's
you can't. I don't know if you can anymore, but at one point in time, you could buy a coffin that said "Kiss" all over it and get yourself buried in it.
If we weren't live right now, I would. If this was just like a normal episode where we just go off the rails more so than we already are, I would be going on eBay right now to see how much a Kiss coffin is.
All right, we'll look that up for a later episode.
Well, yeah, exactly. I have a feeling this conversation will come up again.
Yeah.
Yes. The image of the Slave One drawn by Cam Kennedy is awesome. So cool. Which suggests that the timeline of this, I would think would be before Dark Empire. But
Yeah.
I looked it up. Where do you think this takes place in the timeline?
Well, now you're making me doubt it, but I was like, this has got to be before Empire Strikes Back, but now you're making me think it's not.
10 ABY. So this is after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, so we're no explanation on Sarlacc pit in this either.
No.
But I guess it's
No.
after Dark Empire. Well, when did Dark Empire happen?
I think Dark Empire took place. Well, I always say that it takes place around like 10 ABY, but I don't know. I'm
So
not sure
this
exactly.
is probably about the same time as Dark Empire. So in both cases, they didn't explain anything about the Sarlacc pit.
Well, now it makes me wonder what happened to Slave One.
That's true because he crashes Slave 2 in Dark Empire. So maybe he's like, this ship sucks, and he goes back to Slave 1.
Okay, well then, good idea for Boba Fett. Dark Empire takes place 10 ABY as well.
Okay.
So as soon as he finishes up this business with a magician, he's got to go call up Dingar and go to Han
Right.
Solo's apartment.
Yep.
Which happens in Dark Empire. They go to Han Solo's apartment.
He's left a butler droid behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering.
We laugh at it, but we genuinely love it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like it's
Dark Empire
it's
is
weird.
completely bonkers.
Yeah,
but
it's the weird kind of Star Wars that I kind of wish was still around today. I understand why it's not, but I do kind of love. Yeah, just do whatever.
Sure. Yeah, we have no rules yet, so you can just do whatever you want.
Especially in a world where the prequels don't exist, so they really had no idea with what you could do with Star Wars. But it's time to go flashback scene in which Magwit explains in Boba Fett's own personal throne what happened and why, how Magwit got into the position that he did. What's his relationship with Bar-Kooda? And it's pretty straightforward. You know, he's kidnapped by pirates. The main pirate enjoys his magic tricks and keeps him going. But a few things that I thought was interesting. First of all, this is where we're introduced to the design of Bar-Kooda, and I love it. I think this looks great.
He's like sort of a shark guy.
Right. And so I looked it up, and Bar-Kooda is a member of the Herglick species. Now, the Herglick species has been around in Star Wars for forever. It's first identified around this time period, but as far as like its first appearance is concerned, it was in Dark Force Rising, the Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy novel. Cam Kennedy's designs of the species is nothing like what we would see later. The species has shown up in Dr. Aphra so it's been around. It's still around. Yeah. But either Bar-Kooda is like a weird looking one of those, or just Cam Kennedy kind of doing whatever he wants, which is cool too. But no, I love the design. I think it looks threatening, but also fun. Yeah.
He's kind of a shark guy.
Like a shark version of Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, he's got eyes on the side of his head, sort of like a shark, but yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Also, looks like Seymour, the little shop of horrors creature guy, sort of.
Oh, right. Like
his mouth and stuff. Yeah.
Gigantic piranha plant kind of thing. But this raises more questions than answers, because why was Boba Fett? Boba Fett says that the Imperial bounty, in which, is currently on your head, is not worth my time. But it also sets up that Boba Fett captures Magwit before he accepts the job to go hunt down Bar-Kooda. So why would he have been in pursuit of Magwit to begin with?
Well, there's definitely a weird time bit in between that bit at the beginning where he's fighting those guys on swoop bikes, and then suddenly he's looking for Magwit. So yeah, I agree. There's something weird going on there, but I assume that he's looking for Magwit so they can find Bar-Kooda.
Okay. I mean, that's what makes sense, but it seems like he kind of lucked into this,
which
is the most Boba Fett thing in the world.
Right.
Absolutely, yes. Which, yeah. I do love the logic of the reason why Magwit does not tell Bar-Kooda the secret behind the hoop trick.
Right.
If he tells him, like, Bar-Kooda is just going to kill him because once you know the secret, it's not interesting anymore. And he kind of gambles on Bar-Kooda being more interested in the magician than the magic trick.
Yeah.
Which I thought was...
Well, he's more interested in the magic trick than he is the magician.
Sure. But that's why he keeps him alive for as long as he does. And that's one of those cases where it's like, it works for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Enough sense that it works.
Yeah, exactly. So Boba Fett threatens him and says, "Hey, man, you got to go back to Bar-Kooda."
Right.
And we get to see the blood. Is it the Blood Sport? Is that the ship's name?
I think that's what it is, yeah. Blood Star.
Blood Star.
It's a star full of sport, blood. Blood Sport is going to be in Suicide Squad 2.
Oh. It's also an awesome movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's true, too.
Yeah. Where do we rank this on cool Star Wars ship names?
I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's a little obvious, I think, maybe. But
yeah.
That's cool. It's,
I think my favorite Star Wars ship name is I think it's Dengar's ship, but it's like called the Houndstooth.
That's nice.
And I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But not Blood Sport, Blood Star.
It's not bad.
Also not bad. It's not
Sounds
bad.
like a character or something, but that's cool.
Yeah. But it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes back to Bar-Kooda and once again gambles with his life by saying, "Yeah, man, you should just kill me." Kind of like in a Bugs Bunny,
right?
Tricky sort of way, where it's like it's the classic. No, it's rabbit season.
Right. Yeah.
It's reverse psychology. My biggest problem, I think, with all this is, why does Bar-Kooda care? It doesn't seem like it would be that hard to figure out how this trick works.
Yeah, I think it's probably more like what you're talking about, though. That is the technology, maybe that he's interested in. Like if this is some sort of teleportation disc, yeah, like you said, that's going to be super, super valuable,
especially if you're a pirate. It's the exact kind of technology that would appeal to the wrong kind of people.
Sure, but yeah, like you were saying earlier, the annoying part is they don't really explain how it works because he's got it open on stage, and then it when you go through like backstage, I guess is where it is. Like I don't know how you set the other door.
You want to see a magic trick that did blow my mind here that they don't explain? We see that Boba Fett is in that casket that they're hauling into the storage room. And then when they open the door, Boba Fett's not in there.
Well, he said it's done with mirrors, dude.
Oh.
I mean, you can. Okay. I've seen that trick before. You put somebody in. I mean, they did that on Arrested Development, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. What is it like when you close the door, like a curtain just falls in between?
Something like that,
yeah, it's just a
false back, yeah.
My favorite joke of the issue is when Magwit is juggling the cards, and the one guy says, "We don't want to see simple card tricks," and the cards just kind of like collapse, and he's like, "Oh, the cards you hurt their feelings. You need to apologize to the cards." And the guy's like, "No, I'm not apologizing to the cards. It's not natural." And Bar-Kooda is like, "You're gonna apologize to the cards.
We got to get to the hoop trick."
Yeah, exactly. It's good stuff. Okay. Pulling a rabbit out of the ears.
Again, I mean, I guess he's got one of those little teleport discs in his ears, I guess. I don't know.
Is this rabbit a leapy?
I mean, maybe a baby, I guess. But
is that what Jackson looks like as a baby?
Could be. I don't know. I can't tell because the coloring it's the weird Cam Kennedy coloring, so I don't know if he's actually supposed to be green or if it's just...
Or if he's just green because that's how Cam Kennedy...
That's how he's coloring him.
Yeah. But look at that portal. It just pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how he sets it up. I don't know what it's doing necessarily. I mean, other than obviously you pass through it and you come out somewhere else.
Can Kitty Pryde walk through that portal?
It depends. Did magic make the portal because that's magic's power. She can make these discs, and then she would be able to. But if it was grown by Krakoa, then no.
Okay, so she can walk through magic portals, magic with a K.
Yeah,
right?
anybody can.
Okay, but if a sentient island makes the portals,
If Krakoa does.
okay,
As far as I know, so far.
Okay, so far.
That's
a different podcast. That's not our podcast.
She's back now, but I don't know what the status is of her and Krakoa.
Okay. Because she can get there. She's can. What are we talking about? I do enjoy that. Even though Magwit's like life is on the line, he kind of makes an effort to save as many as his like lame magic tricks as possible. Like he throws the cards through the portal. He throws the rabbit through the portal. Yeah. I mean, he's still got to make a living if he gets out of this.
Sure.
So, So you got to do what you can. Bar-Kooda falls for the easiest trick. Why would anyone stick their face in first?
I don't know.
You think with a head that big, he's smart, right?
I don't know. I don't think sharks are supposed to be super smart.
Well, they also can't fight that well because Boba Fett kind of.
Yeah, I mean he pulls them through and then smashes them against the wall, and so you would think that would be enough to mess him up. But I mean, I guess it is because Boba does win this time, unlike usual.
We discover during this fight that Bar-Kooda gets 10 times cooler because one of his arms is a pirate hook.
Yeah,
that shoots darts.
That will go through Beskar Deal.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Was this named Beskar yet?
But I just assumed
Can we look that up? That it was around like this time that they.
I think we were surprised at how early. Like maybe it was. Maybe even Timothy Zahn, first was, or maybe Time Vige. Somebody seemed like we were shocked at who even came up with it.
Right, where it came from, because we're kind of like that shouldn't be where this comes from. This shouldn't be.
It did come from. It might have come from Dark Empire. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. That's worth looking up right now. By golly,
at least it's part of it.
Tales of the Jedi. So it is Tom Veitch. So it does have a lineage, but yes, Bar-Kooda's darts can go through Beskar. Beskar's not not all the way through, but it
punches it. It's enough that he can just brush him off. So I guess it probably didn't go in too far.
Do you think if he runs out of those darts, he then shoots the hook?
Probably. I mean, if I
or is the hook a grappling hook?
It could be that too. That probably makes more sense. Yeah, if I had a hook, I'd tie a rope to it. Yeah.
You know who should be the star of this comic?
Bar-Kooda.
Yeah. It's a real shame that Bar-Kooda does not have more than this one appearance.
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess that's what makes you love him that much more.
Exactly. If we knew more about him, we wouldn't like him as much.
Who has the more embarrassing death, Bar-Kooda or Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
No. Yeah.
He falls into a Sarlacc pit, dude.
Right. Because of his own jetpack.
Yeah. Yeah. Bar-Kooda at least got beat by the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Oh man. As valuable as the portal magic hoop trick is, it is the one trick that Magwit leaves behind.
Presumably, I don't know how he generates that. Maybe he's got a little remote control in his pocket, a little Apple remote, like Luke had that one issue, and that's what starts the teleportation. That's what Luke had that whole time. Hoop trick.
So you're saying that this opens the door to wider ramifications in the Star Wars universe?
For sure.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I don't know how he generates those, so he might still have whatever he's got, whatever device he's got that does it. He might still have it with him.
I always find it really, really dumb when they leave bombs in a spaceship. If that bomb causes more damage than you anticipate, no one wins. Yeah.
He does blow a hole in it and suck everybody out into the vacuum.
Yeah, well, that's later, though. That's when he's trying to escape with with Macquet. Do you think Boba Fett really wanted to? It seems like he even suggests, right, that he had no intention of bringing Macquet with him when he was leaving.
Oh yeah, he tells him, yeah, you just got lucky that you jumped into the ship or whatever.
Do you think Boba Fett even bothered like taking him home, or do you think it was like,
no, he just dumped him off wherever he stopped?
oh, okay, I was gonna say he just killed him.
Oh, he might have done that too.
I mean, it's Boba Fett.
Sure.
He's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to take off to drop a magician who faked his own death.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's looking for him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He could have killed him, I guess.
Oh, you know what he did? He took him to the Empire.
Oh yeah, because he's got a bounty on him anyway.
He's got a bounty on him.
Yeah, he's nothing much, but $5 or whatever,
Yeah.
still $5.
He's gonna pay for gas.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. That's 100%.
Oh, now the ending makes me sad. Oh, this is a bummer.
I was half expecting him to be like the kind of comic relief kind of character, like, oh, Boba, I'll be your partner, and he'd be in the rest of these comic books, but he's not.
Man, let me tell you something. You mentioned something that has been on my brain since November. The first episode of The Mandalorian, you know, that Horatio Sands cameo with the alien that he captures in the first scene.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and like my heart kind of sinking because I'm like, oh, this is going to be like the comic relief wacky sidekick.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm going to go with you and go on. And I was like,
definitely good that they did not do that.
yes, because I thought Mandalorian was about to, because it was about to splinter in, okay, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, or man, I'll watch this once.
Yep.
Yeah, but
that's what Baby Yoda will do when he gets a little older. He'll start cracking jokes and be annoying.
Man, I don't.
I'm sure he won't.
You're the best Scar,
Right.
Mandalorian. Yeah, we'll see. That's the kind of joke. See, it's a Baby Yoda joke, hypothetically. Okay, let's talk about the escape. Vacuums in space, always cool.
Yeah.
Cam Kennedy, he definitely takes advantage of those splash pages. Love it. I'm all in. And then we epilogue, which I thought was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Hutts are the most despicable, like gangsters. They're vile. They're awful.
Yeah.
But they're classy enough to ask for like the father's hand in marriage.
Sure.
You know, it could be like a case of like kind of like The Godfather, you know, how like you have to like show your respect and all that. But at the end of the, when you boil it all down, like these are just terrible, terrible people. But I love the fact that this Hutt, you know, wants to impress his girlfriend. I don't even know if the girlfriend knows.
It seems like she doesn't, but I don't know. Because he said, Anarcho and I are in love. And she kind of looks like, oh, well, she flutters, I guess. So I don't know. But again, the beginning stuff, it sounded like he had never even talked to her. He just saw her beautiful and was like, I'm getting her.
Yeah, he always seemed like she must be mine. And it's like, ooh. Yeah, right. It's like, I'm a scumbag, but I'm still going to ask for her.
Right.
So I can feel good about myself in this relationship.
Yep.
I did also make sure, because I don't think we saw a picture of her, did we? And I want to make sure that she was a Hutt, but clearly she is.
Well, she is in the comic book, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can't tell. I hate to say this.
Well, I assume that's when
I can't tell the difference between Hutts unless they wear like a monocle or they have a mustache.
There's a scene where he says, you see your delightful daughter, the fair Anarcho and I are in love, and she flitters her eyes. I mean, I assume that's her.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Because there's 3 Hutts in the panel before that, so I assume it's, what's his name, her, and then his dad.
That could be Mama Hutt. That could be.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Why? If we start asking that question, none of this comic makes any sense.
Okay.
But the main course is roasted Bar-Kooda.
Yep.
Which does confirm something. Apples exist in the Star Wars universe.
Or something, close to an apple, sure.
I mean, it's something that you put in the animal's mouth when you roast it.
Sure.
I guess my one, I like that he's prepared like a turkey. I love all that stuff. It's all
And
great.
they
It's all
got
great.
slices out of him already. He's already pre-sliced. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Do you think this worked?
Oh, do you think he got married? It's kind
You think like he got like the blessing?
it leaves you to think that because he's like, here's my little gift to you, Orko, or should I call you Dad? And then that's the end. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, it worked, dude.
Well, in that case, the comic has a happy ending.
I think so. I mean,
for none of the characters that we're supposed to care about, but
Boba Fett probably got paid pretty well, so he's probably happy.
Yeah, exactly. That that number of Star Wars credits that doesn't make any sense because you can't tell if that's a lot or if that's not that much.
Yeah.
You got 200,000 credits. What is? I mean, is that good
or is it like dollars? I don't know.
Right, like it's 50,000 credits. Is that how much it costs to like gas up my truck? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know, but things are tight, so I have to assume you can get what you can get.
Yeah.
Once again, Dark Horse pet peeve of when they collect the works in the trade paperback and there's nothing telling you whether or not this is the next issue. Yep. It just keeps on going.
Just like Legacy, I had to get on Marvel Unlimited and figure out what the last page was.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that because one, it usually also means that we don't get cover art in the Dark Horse trades.
Yeah, I don't get any covers in this except for what's on the front. Yeah, there's not.
Right. But man, Dark Horse, I don't know if they still do it. I don't think they do because I know I read the Lady Killer collection recently, and that's Dark Horse, and they had, issue breaks. I don't know, but Dark Horse did this forever. They did this from when they first had the Star Wars license to all the way to Legacy. So that's a good 15 years or so.
Hellboy trade paperbacks are like that too. At least I haven't bought one in a while, but the old ones I have are like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, oh well. Well, we have a few minutes left, and we've wrapped up the exciting adventure of the bounty on Bar-Kooda. Are there any questions that anyone has for Brian or myself, or if you just want to talk about Star Wars stuff? I'm cool with any of it.
Yeah.
If not, it's totally cool. But I wanted to look at. We break it up 4 days. Monday is classic Marvel. So right now we're in the Empire Strikes Back adaptations. That's around Star Wars, 42, 40, yeah. So Monday, it's all classic Marvel. Tuesday, it is movie adjacent Dark Horse. So this would qualify because it is about the characters that we.
Yeah, this will be a Tuesday podcast when we put it out on the actual in our stream or whatever.
Yep. Wednesday, it is a long time ago or far, far away, meaning it takes place not anywhere near the timeline of the movies. So it's like Old Republic stuff or Star Wars Legacy or Tales of the Jedi, that kind of really early stuff or really, really late stuff. And then finally, Friday is the current canon Marvel comics. And right now we're covering Vader Down. Yeah. And I should always say, if you only read the current canon Marvel stuff, you're really denying, a lot of fun, weird, wild Star Wars stuff.
And it's not all weird. Some of it's just, straight up normal Star Wars. It's really good too.
Yeah. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, some of the stuff's grounded and that stuff's great, but I kind of do enjoy whenever it's like, what even is this? He's hunting a magician. He's fighting a shark. Yeah. If you like your Star Wars weird, Tuesday and Wednesday is definitely the days that you should probably check out. Yeah, absolutely. As our friends at Star Wars Splash Page say, weird and so very entertaining. Yep. Absolutely. Because when we started this podcast, we were kind of dreading like this stuff might be kind of dull or
right. When you first said something about it, I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do just the Marvel Star Wars because in my mind stuff was not good, but it's actually been really entertaining.
Yeah, I love things like, the entire city is a giant pirate ship on water, and yes, I'm in. Like Disney, make these movies next. Yeah, but Well, our time is almost expired. Brian, please tell the fine folks where they can find you out there in the social media
at Jack
universe.
Laser on Twitter and Instagram.
Excellent. And I am at Johnny Matt Wood on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show at SW Comics Daily on Twitter and Instagram. That's where we're going to post our release schedule so you can follow along and interact and all that fun stuff. And we post pictures and images and anything Star Warsy that we find that we think is cool. We pop it out there.
We've also got a website, StarWarsComicsDaily.com, and a Patreon / Star Wars Comics Daily.
Absolutely. And we've always set up, there's a certain tier that if we get to it, we will go 5 days a week. And there's the possibility of that 5th day just being whatever we want. Like, it could be Star Wars, but I know we're talking about like Larry Hama G.I. Joe comics for a while.
Matt's gone down G.I. Joe hole lately and it's kind of dragging me along with him.
Yeah, I never want to get out of that hole because Larry Hama is amazing. And also worked on a few Star Wars comics that we discovered. Yeah, which is always cool. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody that joined us today. And make sure you stay for the next panel. And once again, this is awesome. This entire online convention is super cool, and it's for a great cause. And it's been awesome, and we're happy to be a part of it. And like I said, check out some of the other stuff on the other stages. But from Star Wars Comics Daily, I'm Matt Wood. And until next time, may the Force be with you. All right.
Do we